Welcome everybody. Welcome to the supply chain transformation. Yet another amazing webinar. And today you are in for a treat. Okay, let me start by asking, even though I have already started, a very popular two question, which has been really popular for last 1.5 years. There are two questions. The question is, can you hear me? Yes, on your chat box. And if you can see me. Okay, great. Oh, Imam is already here. Hey, Leroy. Leroy is here. Awesome. Thank you, Sashi. Okay, great. Ladies and gentlemen, so so today we are going to definitely witness amazing learning presentation, and this is definitely gonna impact your thinking process. I assure you. You know why I can say this? Because I've seen the presentation, and I've gone through it, and it is really amazing. So you're really in for a treat. So how many of you would like to become a better version of yourself at the end of the session when it comes to supply chain? Can you type in I on your chat box? I. Or you can even type in oh yeah on your chat box. That I want to become a better version of myself at the end of the session. You can type in oh yeah on your chat box. Great. So we really appreciate your time. Money you can earn, but time is priceless. We really appreciate you spending time this evening with us. And I am the CEO of Successante, and this is an initiative of to demonstrate our supply chain certification manager program student and their capabilities. And today we have an eminent gentleman who would be definitely sharing his thoughts and knowledge with us in a very practical manner, right? So with that, are you ready? Are you ready to listen to him? If you are ready, type in I am ready on your chat box. I am ready. IMR. Or you can write in IMR, yes. Or IAR, sorry. IAR. IAR. Okay. Before I introduce the gentleman, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the Chief Growth Officer, Leroy. Leroy of EFL. Leroy, are you there?
Yeah, sure, I'm here.
Yeah, so he is with us. He is among us. Hi, thank you for joining, Leroy. Really appreciate.
You're welcome.
Great. And yes, there will be other friends who will be joining later. So with that, let me introduce. Now he is an expert in supply chain business process, re-engineering, analysis, digitization, related process and mapping and operations setup. Now, graduate of the University of Moratuwa under transportation and logistics management. He has 7 years of experience in his professional life, and guess what? Some of you must be knowing because you're from his team. So he is one of the youngest manager in EFL 3PL. So Leroy must be very proud. Okay, great. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, and I had an opportunity to meet this gentleman, and really a dedicated person on learning. Not only learning, implementing that learning, and that's why today he is here to share with you. So with that, please welcome Vimukti Bandara. Vimukti, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
I saw you in the camera. Okay. Vimukti Bandara. Vimukti, over to you.
Okay. Think you want to get some urgent medicine in the midnight. It's around 12:30 a.m. in the morning. What are you going to do? Actually, my dear friend, one of my friends has gone through this situation recently. At that time, he had 3 options. First thing is admit to hospital, but due to the prevailing situation in the country, it's really risky. Second one is visit to pharmacy and ask pharmacy guy to give the medicine. But only thing is, at that time, most pharmacy were closed. Third option is online ordering through the instant delivery services. What do you think? What option he has selected? You can mention that in the chat box. Yes, most of you have given the correct answer. He has selected the third option. Think, my dear friends, at that time, once you got that kind of critical medicine, how about your feeling? Actually, this is how that gentleman transfer his feel into message. I will read out that now. Order some urgent surgery medicine for my wife late night yesterday. The rider went to different hospital to purchase. Within hours, he arrived. Very polite. Other than the delivery fee, cookie, do not charge additional for the items I ordered. Actually, in the supply chain, as you will aware, there is a theory called strategic fit. This is the classic example for strategic fit. What is the strategic fit mean? Strategic fit mean make sure with the right and the right content. In addition to that, most of you aware about this one. In the supply chain and marketing, there are a model called 4 Ps. What are those 4 Ps? Product, price, promotion, and the place. These 4 Ps actually we are using for the tangible things, such as soaps, any other food items, something like that. But difference is, my dear friend, product, price, promotion, we can change only up to some extent. We can do the difference by using the place. That's what we did in the previous example. We change their place as customer want. If you want to transform your supply chain to next level, you need to think differently rather than doing what others doing. If you take the service industry in the supply chain, such as banking, insurance, third-party logistics services, they have, apart from that, 4 Ps. What are those? Process, people, physical. This is for mainly process, people, and physical evidence. We can change the game in supply chain because we can deliver our product to customer with the higher service level. Because of that, the additional 3 Ps we call servitization. I will show you a great example, classic example for servitization. Watch this video. You can get better idea about what is the servitization. I will play that one now.
The Traffic Jam Whopper. We used real-time data to detect our potential buyers in a traffic jam to offer them a Whopper and deliver on the move.
Fernanda, buenos días. Señor Eduardo, buenas tardes.
¡Ay, qué bello!
Llegaste en chinga, cabrón. Me cagaba de hambre.
Our media was 100% dynamic, promoting our service only in high congestion zones. By leveraging traffic and drivers' real-time data, we adjusted our billboards' location and content. The messages displayed information about the remaining time in traffic to order and personalized updates about deliveries in progress. Also, Waze banner ads and push notifications invited drivers to get a Whopper as soon as they entered our delivery zones. People were able to use voice commands to place the order and avoid tickets. Finally, using the latest Google Maps APIs, our app pinpointed vehicle location and speed in order to deliver for the first time ever to a driver on the move. The delivery zones changed following the traffic light, making our service available when a gridlock was identified, always within a 3-kilometer radius from the restaurants.
Hola Mariana, ¿cómo estás?
Ay, te agarraría besos.
Lo siento, estoy en servicio.
In just 1 week, we increased delivery orders by 63%, and our daily app download #1 fast food app, surpassing McDonald's, Domino's, and Starbucks in Mexico. Coming soon, Los Angeles, San Paulo, and Shanghai. The Traffic Jam Whopper.
Enjoy the traffic jam.
What do you think? As you well aware, if you want to burger, what is our top of mind supply? Burger King. But why they did this kind of innovation and transform their supply chain to next level? Because as I mentioned in the earlier, we can change or innovative product only up to some extent. Beyond that, we can't change that. That's why using the real-time data and other things, Burger King, using the technologies and other things, they are introducing deliver within this traffic jam. As you saw, due to that, Burger King has increased 63% their delivery volumes. Not only that, they increased 44% of their mobile application downloading percentage. Not only that, they became a #1 food application in the Mexico. Actually, what they did, once we compare with the traditional supply chain, they changed their supply chain to digital supply chain. They transformed their supply chain to next level to increase their surplus. Not only that, if we take in the traffic jam, most of the people are not visiting to the shops due to the traffic. Then any of the other shops, they have the ideal time of machines, employee, those kind of things. But my dear friend, using this thing, Burger King reduced that sum. Then they increase their effectiveness as well as responsiveness by reducing the cost. This is actually transforming supply chain to different level. If we take the traditional supply chain, as we well aware, there is a 6 process: develop, plan, source, make, deliver, support. Those are the 6 processes. But uses of cognitive planning, that means AI and machine learning, quality sensing, 3D printing, sensor-driven replenishment, most of the company incrementally increase supply chain to some level, but it's not the required thing. We need to transform this to digital supply chain. Why I mentioned that one? If we take as the example, our current apparel industry, still lead time is remaining same. Storage time is remaining same. But they did some automation things, but still supply chain has not transformed to the required level. What is the meaning of the digital supply chain? How we can transform that to traditional to digital supply chain? We need to maintain the synchronized planning, connected customer, dynamic fulfillment center, digital development, smart factory. We need to collate that together and increase the information visibility. Then we can easily transform our supply chain to next level. If we take, due to the lack of information and the digitization, our current supply chain facing a lot of issues. One thing is the bullwhip effect. What is the meaning of bullwhip effect? Retailer doesn't know the customer requirement, and manufacturer doesn't know the retailer requirement. Supplier doesn't know the exact manufacturing requirement. I will show you the great example for that one. Do you have any idea about how much of vegetable and fruits we are producing per annum? If you have any idea, you can mention that in the chat box. You got nearly correct answer. I will show that one. If you take the Sri Lankan vegetable industry, currently we are producing 710 metric tons per annum. If you take the fruits, it's around 540,000 metric tons per annum. But my dear friend, believe me, we are wasting 30% of the vegetable out of this total production. 40% of fruit out of this total production. You can get the more details through the University of Moratuwa Research Online website. What is the main reason for that? This main thing is the lack of information visibility. Because still we are depending on the traditional supply chain. Farmer deliver to the retailer distributor, then retailer distributor deliver to the bulk distributor, then it's go to the bulk market such as Dambulla, then transport to the, again same process will be happening. Then transport to the bulk distributor, retailer distributor, finally customer. Then there are several touch points. Those touch points create the wastage because we don't know about the exact requirement between the customer and the manufacturer or farmer. Not the beauty. If you take the total export volume in Sri Lanka, it's around 9,000 metric tons only. How about our wastage amount? It's nearly 48 times of the export volume. That might be a total requirement of country like Maldives, vegetable and food requirement. Not only that, if we convert this to number, think just take 50 kilo per kg. I don't think we can buy anything to 50 kilo now. But just assume we are wasting 26 billion LKR per annum due to this wastage and the lack of information visibility. How we can reduce that? We need to build the connectivity between customer and the manufacturer or farmer. Actually, we can do that by using the which called the order management system. What is the order management system? What is the beauty of this order management system? Order management system can connect all the supply chain parties together to improve the visibility. It can connect e-commerce, warehouse management, shipping, ERP, store, marketplace, and the customer as well as the manufacturer requirement as well. Then my dear friend, it's clear display and be a real-time data visibility is there, then wastage will automatically reduce. If we take the example, what is the main thing? We need to think fast because we need to make sure the customer requirement. I will further explain about this order management system with some example. If we take the current main manufacturer company in the Sri Lanka, take Nestle, Hemas, Unilever, what they are currently doing? They are maintaining their own inventory and they are managing their own supply chain. Think, if they can connect all the goods to several warehouses with collaboration manner, indirectly their cost is reduced, right? Not only that, we can't change the customer order pattern. Customer can order anything through Kapruka, Daraz, Cookie.lk, through any platform. Then Only thing is, we need to connect those all the requirement to this order management system. Then manufacturer also we can connect to the order management system. Then we can link all the details with our warehouse. That means central warehouse or multiple warehouse which we use for the store these goods. Then we can easily produce our goods to customer without any disruption. What is the main thing behind that? Main thing is the responsiveness. We need to fulfill customer requirement as soon as possible. That's what we can do through the order management system. Not only that, if you take the current supply chain, we are mostly focusing on the economic of scale. What is the meaning of economic of scale? Economic of scale means producing bulk product or delivering bulk product to reduce our cost. But my dear friend, currently world are using not economic of scale, economic of time. What is the meaning of the economic of time? Make sure the agility and enability of the product. To transform our traditional supply chain to digital supply chain, we need to maintain the combination of both of this economic of scale and the economic of time to achieve our digital supply chain targets. In this world, some of the people have money, they don't have the time. Other categories, they have the money, but they don't have the time. So, we need to cater both this market to increase our surplus. That's why some of them are using Maruti, some of them are using the BMW. They are willing to pay the money for time. Then, using that time in an agile supply chain, we can increase the supply chain surplus by creating the additional value to customer and reducing the supply chain cost. Do you know about the 7-Eleven Japan? What they are doing? They are doing the convenient store in Japan. But what's the main difference of them? Using the data science and mining, they get the insight and they make sure the product availability. As you well aware, product availability is the key element in the supply chain. To win the market, we need to have a product availability. Otherwise, we can win the market and generate the profit as well. This 7-Eleven Japan, beauty of 7-Eleven Japan is using the data science and mining. They know exact customer requirement. Based on the customer requirement, they are arranging their stores. In the morning time, as the example, in the morning time, they are focusing on the housewife. In the lunch time, they are focusing on the students and children. In the evening time, they are focusing on the office workers. Then, if it is visit to the warehouse stores, he no need to go here and there. He can directly visit to the store and collect the goods as he wants without wasting any time. That reduce their time wasting and create the additional value. Then customer is willing to pay more. Then we can easily increase this supply chain service. To do all of these things, we need to do the automation. To transform our supply chain to next level, we need to do the automation. If you take the currently, that means if you if you take the 2018 human to machine ratio, it's around 71% to 29%. But near future, it will change 48% to 52%. So we need to ready for that. Otherwise, we can't compete with the world and survive in the world. Other important thing is, if you take the skills, some of the skills are growing, some of the skills are declining. Analytical skill, digitization related skills, those are growing. What are the declining skills? Technical things, installation, technology installation, those kind of jobs skills reducing. Not only that, if we take in the job, the 2022, 133 million job will increase. As well as there are declining job as well, it's around 75 million. Because current in the world, we have the higher market to data science, AI, digitization related job. Those things have the higher market. What are the diminishing market? Finance, data entry clerk, those jobs are diminishing. Think, in this forum, how many of you were studied to become a supply chain manager or data science or mobile application developer? Is there anyone is here? Someone here, if someone in here, you can mention that in the chat box. I don't think so, my dear friend. Because most of the people are learning to be a doctor or engineer. Due to our traditional thinking, our focus is to be a doctor or engineer. But we need to think differently. Because there are several job opportunities in the industry. If we take the Sri Lanka, considering this whole technology changes, we need to disrupt or displace. But what are the barriers for that? Transform our supply chain to next level. Main thing is low human capital readiness. As the nation, we are the one of high literacy nation in the world. But only matter is our technological know-how is very less. Because we are not willing to use the new technologies. Less people are willing to use that. Not only that, if we take our whole economy, 45% of our economy is depending on the apparel industry. Then our 45% of the supply chain also depending on this. We need to think this one, because currently our apparel industry mainly depending due to the quality. But we need to adapt to the right technology to transfer our supply chain to next level and reduce the timing, lead time. Otherwise, this whole industry can displace. We need to think about that now, because same thing was happened to Kodak. What happened to Kodak? Once digital camera arrived, Kodak fully displays. What we can upskill. That's the only thing we can do, transform our supply chain to next level. As the University of Moratuwa graduate, I am really happy. They have changed their syllabus to cater this new supply chain transformation. But they are teaching now mobile applications, drones, M2M connectivity. Now they are focusing on the digital supply chain. But only matter is industry is not ready for that, still not ready for that part. We need to think to re-engineer them. Think, all of us have the smartphone. But I believe less than 5% of the people can take decision by using the smartphone. Because apart from the professional 3PL service provider, most of the company in Sri Lanka not using proper ERP management system or warehouse management system. Most of them are depending on the papers. So they can't measure the KPI or insight real time by using the real time data. That's the matter. Other thing is, you can upskill your employee by introducing courses like ISECA Certified Supply Chain Manager. Because using these courses, people can easily learn about the current supply chain trends and other things. Then we can easily transform our traditional supply chain to digital supply chain. What's the other point we can do as the way for collaboration? Because as I well aware, it's around 5% of the industry and the company within the Sri Lanka adapt to the right technology. Once new technology arrived to the Sri Lankan world, some of the companies adapt to that. Great example for that one is the EFL. We are using the right technology to transform our supply chain from next level. So, as I mentioned in the earlier, we need to collaborate with these kind of expertise in the industry to transform our traditional supply chain to next level. I would like to put some note to your mind. If you take the 1944, file cabinet business was one of the booming industry in the world. What happened to that? That small profits came, total file cabinet business has displaced. Actually, currently we are not using the floppy disk or CDs, at least pen drive. We are currently operating and managing our data through the cloud. So, is your supply chain like the file cabinet business? You need to think twice. Otherwise, you will displace. You need to transform your traditional supply chain to digital supply chain. Thank you. Over to you, Sue.
Thank you very much, Vibhukti. Wow, that was really an eye opener. Wow, I mean, this is, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about that? If your business is like file cabinet, you really need to think about it. What an ending! Really nice. It's a powerful message. So, what do you think about that? Give us some feedback on the chat box. What do you think? How was it? You liked it? Anything opened up? Anything resonated with you? As we are getting into the Q&A session, so I have a question, Vimukti. Okay, before that, Imam Alam, he's from Bangladesh. I believe EFL is quite big in Bangladesh. So he's asking, how can we convince our bosses to invest in such technology? Vimukti, how did you convince your boss? Thanks for that question, Imam.
I think in our company that is difference, because boss is always aware about the right technology, so we just need to implement that. But only thing is, if you take, you can that with this kind of success story, you can use to convince your boss, because if we don't use the right technology, we can't survive in this industry. That's a major thing. Because if we use the right technology, definitely you can increase your agile delivery services, as well as you can increase your surplus. With the right example, if you explain better to your bosses, definitely they will think about this one.
Got it.
I think I have given the correct.
Thank you, Vibhukti. So Vibhukti is saying, okay, talk to your boss, explain the ROIs, and not only ROIs. I think the repo is very important, and show them the benefit. Definitely, they will see it, So before I proceed, I would like to acknowledge another friend who's in the audience. Sati, are you there? Satyendra?
Yes, sure, I'm here.
Hi, Sati. So Sati is with us. He's the Vice President of Supply Chain in Nestle. Sati, do you have any questions?
Yeah, so rather than question, I think
being a lecturer at Moratuwa, you must be feeling very proud what Vimukti has shared just now.
yeah, absolutely. You are really correct. So I fully agree with Vimukti. It was a fantastic presentation. First of all, in terms of he was mentioning about the Moratuwa University degree, supply chain degree, and they have really changed the program now. I fully agree. Recently, I spoke to one of their students who is following the supply chain program, and I was really impressed the things that they are learning, and many of these digital skills have been included in the program. So I was really impressed. Vimukti, I think what you said is really correct. I mean, today in supply chain, we are looking for opportunities to improve the efficiency while more agile. And digitalization is one of the area that can bring in both. And so one of the challenges in terms of investment is finally there should be a business case before investing on any digitalization initiative, and sometimes it's very difficult to quantify the benefits of agility. So you improve the agility, but how do you quantify the benefits? So they are always a bit challenging, and also the country market is being small. Sometimes it's difficult to justify in terms of business case. But some great points, Vimukti, and I fully agree this is the way forward. And thank you so much for the presentation.
Great. Thank you so much, Sati, for sharing. Okay, so another question from Imam. Moving forward. So he's saying, we understand that it was difficult for Kodak, Nokia, physical cabinet manufacturers to anticipate the change. So what exactly should we look for in order to avoid such pitfalls? So what we should look for?
As I mentioned in the example, we need to think differently, because as I correctly mentioned in the example, currently there are several concepts involved in the concept. That means currently economic of value is the main thing playing the role. So we need to think about that one, and we need to provide agile service to customers. We can think in that manner. Then once we think in that manner, we can understand what kind of technology we need to use to do that. Then if we make sure the agile supply chain, then we can transform our supply chain to next level. Because most of we aware about that currently how we are doing the supply chain. It's a traditional way. We need to transform that to next level.
Brilliant. Thank you, Vimukti. So to add to that, what you said, I just got a message. Okay. So Leroy, can we hear from you? Let's listen to Leroy. He also has something to add.
Well, sure. Good evening, and good evening, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Leroy. Most of you must be knowing him. So he's the Chief Growth Officer of EFL. Over to you, Leroy. We are excited to listen to you.
Well, Sati, thank you for sharing your words, and it's good to be connected on the forum. Last time I couldn't join. Vimukti, congratulations on an excellent delivery. So, with regard to this question about Kodak, Nokia, and the physical file cabinets, none of these technologies came out from nowhere and started wiping these guys out. They have a symptom, they have a sign. So, if you take Kodak's example, if the literature that I read was correct, it was one of the engineers within Kodak itself who came up with the digital camera, right? And he came and presented to his bosses, and they laughed at him. And they said, we are in the business of film rolls, right? And distribution of film rolls. If you bring a digital camera, it will basically cease to displace our existing business. And as a result of that, they pushed it to a side. Look, fast forward 10-15 years into the future, Kodak is technically no more. Nokia also saw what happened to Apple and BlackBerry and all those things, but they tended to react quite differently. They basically sat on it. So just like if you take what we need to do, your change is not going to come out like a miracle and suddenly overnight going to change. It's just that you need to have scouts, you need to have people in your organization, you should have people in your structure. Something like what I do is to keep looking out for new tech, new these things, to see what can help you. And if you are in the rhythm of transforming your supply chain, then the chances of you avoiding a complete disruption or becoming an early adopter to the change is quite probable. But if you sit on it and suddenly you decide to change, by that time someone else would have taken the position. So that's the biggest challenge that all the leaders are facing at the moment. So sure. So that's a bit of thought.
Oh yeah, that was to the point. Thank you so much. Really appreciate Leroy. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear did you like what you hear just now? Can you type in like on your chat box if you liked it, what he said, and it makes sense? You can say, okay, more than like, just say make sense. MS, just write MS on your chat box. MS. So if you so we are actually so you're in for a treat. I'm actually talking to Leroy as well and Sati. So we are planning to do something very different, very exclusive for and it's a conversation whereby you will get to experience new things. What are the changes happening in and around the globe, in Sri Lanka and out of Sri Lanka as well. So look out for that. It's going to happen middle of next month. So we will definitely announce the dates very soon. So just look out for that. So moving on, Vimukti, you spoke about servitization, right? So can you elaborate on that?
I mean, actually, as I explained, we need to make sure if you take the 7 pieces, people, processes, physical evidence, we need to make sure. Because if you take the product, we can innovate up to some extent only. As well as the promotion and the price, we can, we can give the benefit of to some extent only. If you need to add value to your supply chain and give the maximum benefit to your customer, you need to make sure the product availability with the right place and other things. We can do that by using the process as well as the physical evidence, as other thing is the people. Using that one, we can service our customer to better in way. That's additional thing we call the servitization. As I saw in the Burger King example, what exactly they did.
Yes, that was. By the way, that was a brilliant example. I mean, if you publicize, you might see it in Colombo also. It's happening, but no, our traffic jams are much better than at least from Dhaka, I can say. What do you say, Imam? Right. So okay. So moving on. You mentioned about on your presentation, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask on the chat box in conversation with Vimukti, talking about supply chain transformation. You talk about skills development, right? Skills development in your family. My son or daughter will become a doctor or an engineer, right? So we never thought about becoming a supply chain professional. Why do you think it's like that?
Actually, if you take that is the traditional way. At my childhood also, my parents are focusing to be an engineer. But if you take the supply chain profession, at that time, most of the people don't know about that. There is an industry like this. But only thing is, this industry has a various kind of job opportunities, as well as the highly demand for the full certified supply chain profession. Not only that, using this industry, we can service any customers. It's actually a different experience to us. That feeling we can get, because as I mentioned at the beginning, believe we can, once we deliver that kind of urgent medicine at the right time, that feeling we can't get through the other industry. That's what I believe we need to, that means our students and new students need to focus on be a supply chain professional as well.
Got it. Yeah, so that will definitely have one sense. It's very rare sense. So, and it's very simplified version. So that's why we do these webinars, to make sure. I'm sure today's presentation has definitely given you a different perspective of how to describe supply chain in a very simple way. So you have done our CSCM program, right? Certified Supply Chain Manager program.
Yes.
How was your experience being you're a Moratuwa graduate and then 7 years of experience? How that has impacted you?
Yes, actually, in the University of Moratuwa, that means we covered all the theoretical parts and other things. But once we came to the supply chain, that means Certified Supply Chain Manager course, is different actually, because it's clearly we can learn about the new trends related to the supply chain, as well as that lecturers are coming from the industry background, with the industry background. Then they share the real world example. Then we can learn a lot, as well as we can apply that to our industry, our company as well. Then, as I well aware, it's improve our skills as well as the knowledge. It's actually we can think about the industry since we are knowing about the current technologies and the trends.
Got it. Great. Thank you very much. So there is a question. Imam is asking. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you also can go ahead and ask, right? So Imam, thank you very much for being so enthusiastic. And in fact, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, he has attended all our webinars and he will be asking questions. Very eager to learn. Okay, so what are some of the steps you would recommend to become a data scientist?
Nice question.
Yes.
Actually, I also came from the supply chain background. Data science mean not only typical system development or algorithm development. That's a part of the data science. But if you have the right skill, which related to the analytics about we can easily do the data analytics and if you have that ambition, we can easily do that. Not only that, actually data science is a really enjoyable job, because we can take by using the data. Then once we take the decision using the data, once we get the result, it's really feel to us. That feeling we can't get doing any other things. I believe that one, since I am engaging with this job.
Got it. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Leroy, thank you very much. He's saying that differentiating your product by bringing a service element into a tangible product. So that is servitization he's talking about. Thank you, Leroy, for that contribution. Any other question, ladies and gentlemen? Any other question? Okay, Binara is in. Well done, Vimukti. Good job. Really enjoyed. Okay, great.
The most profitable companies in the world have learned to use their supply chains to keep goods and services flowing into the marketplace. But supply chain processes are only as good as the people who keep them running. Supply chain employment opportunities are constantly being created, and ISCEA certified professionals are getting the best paid jobs. If you wish to become a sound supply chain professional and gain real-world experience and knowledge, then ISCEA is your one-stop source for supply chain education, certification, and recognition. ISCEA is the International Supply Chain Education Alliance. We were the first organization certifying supply chain professionals around the globe, and we remain the worldwide authoritative resource for supply chain career validation, with thousands of certificate holders commanding top-tier salaries. Our certification programs are aligned with best practices and industry-proven standards. They bring together academic research advances and innovative industry trends, validating that you have the knowledge used by top companies to remain competitive in an ever-changing business environment. For your company, that translates into significant cost reductions, faster revenue growth, and a collaborative teamwork environment. For your career, it means exceeding everyone's expectations and taking control of your future. So, what are you waiting for? Stand out from the crowd and take your career to the next level with an ISCEA internationally recognized supply chain certification.